Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent his messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs, to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness, by giving, will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to and you possess. Otherwise you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand, to be there, to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle, which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and in the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 403rd One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace here on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, Education Department, and part of the public teachings in English. My name's Rick Crammond, and I'll be your host once again in this continuous series of weekly workshops. And we're joined with members and support members of the Universal Council once again today. Thank you for being here and being part of our One Planet, One Nation, One Race program for many, many years now. And I think we're ready to begin. Let me get the presentation up here. And I believe Mashvek is going to do our introduction today. Please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. This is Mashvek representing Bengali language as Universal Council support member. So today I'm going to start with a metaphor. There was once a woman of exquisite beauty. She made herself a gown befitting the beauty that she possessed. And at the edges of this gown, she put this exquisite, intricate lace that rippled as she walked in this dress. And that ripple and that lace is the creation, and the woman is the creator. This corresponds to the ripple that Mr. Keshe was talking about in the ocean of energy. Here the dress is that ocean, and I love this image. And these ripples that we admire, the ripple that we call the manifestation of the Creator in its beauty. Yes, it is extremely beautiful when we know how to appreciate it. But beyond that is the energy and the real depth of beauty the woman is. So we too are creators as rippled in this vast ocean, just like the woman. And here you can start to bring in a man too, although it might be difficult for people like me, but nevertheless, the beauty exists in both men and women. And so we are these ripples, but as ripples, we too are the creator. So all we have to know is how to create further ripples in this ocean that we call the Creator. And the ripples interact with each other as our lives on this planet interact, fields interact. New energy, new ripples come into being. Will we not honor the Creator by creating ripples ourselves, just like this woman? And that is the opportunity that we have in Keshe Foundation now. Let us explore it and honor the Creator. And by honoring and doing what he does, doing what the Creator does, we get closer to the Creator. And the creation becomes full of ripples that interact in accordance with how energy must interact in this universe. Let's make it magnetic and gravitational and see the wonders of ripples. Thank you very much, and let's enjoy what we have to offer today along this line. It will be a very interesting journey, I hope. Thank you very much. Anyone else add anything?
Okay, thank you, Mashfaq.
Hello.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. It takes time to open up. Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's Mehran University Council Farsi Language. I'm happy to be with all of you again. As for what my friend says, for me, the creation is the story of love. It's the story of one needing the other needing the one, like a wife and femininity, a girl and her long hairs and her means a statue, and the man short hair and the big statue, and they just have this emotion of I want to give her and she wants to give him, and that's how they come together, and it's a new love. So they are in harmony, they forgive, they accommodate, they sacrifice, they give more, and then they take more to survive. So I think the whole thing is based on different levels of love, which humans have just some sorts of love. We have 2, 3 forms of real love, parents and husbands, family, etc. And everything else has to be either sexual or things like that. But I think universe is a love with big L, means everything wants to give because it's a pleasure to give, and they do it without deciding to give. And those who take, they take it because they need and they're supposed to take it. And so the whole thing goes on level by level, level by level, energy, magnetic, gravity, up to material. So when love exists, it lasts forever because there's nothing which can stop it. It's a need, it's a strong emotion which has started these movements. So destruction has an end, the opposite logic. So, and for me, it's a sign that love wins at the end. The order of universe wins at the end. And even though in our time, we are getting impatient by injustice, but in our little time of human, in where we live, there are other times, there are other decisions made, there are other things are playing behind, which the time is much, much slower. So the whole thing is, I think, finally we come to the decision that I just have to be humble and just take it on me and just do what I think best and just not to sway to what people think is best for me, because anybody is their own universe and everybody is tainted by their history. So just being humble and just getting close to the true values like nature, or true values, honestly, and nice ideas and humanity, ideas of art. And so just wait for a bright day, because love has to win and wins at the end. And the nature accommodate the way to win, accommodate how to overcome the destruction. I don't know if it was understandable, at least for me, but I'm happy to hear the program, because it always reminds me of a moment of peace, a moment we talk about peace, we talk about unconditional love. And for me, with my experience, unconditional love is the true value that always would help us to guide us in our life of everything. Thank you very much, and have a good program.
Okay, thank you, Marinez. Mashfek. Now I'm to play a video from an excerpt from the 614th Knowledge Seekers Workshop, which was our last workshop last Friday. And this starts at the 24-minute mark. And it's about who is the creator. And let me get that teed up, and we'll play that now.
And we come to see, as I said, the biggest problem for mankind will be that anyone claims to be the God or the prophet of space, and human race falls for it because they can do magics that they couldn't do, so they know more. What is important for us is to understand the truth about our own creator, to analyze how it works, how it creates, how it manifests, and how this thing exists. If we look at it, we call this a plasma, for example. This is what is as the entity of the creator. At the point of conception, it's nothing but energies. Magnetic fields are created out of the energies, not energies out of magnetic fields. So if our creator makes a ripple in shape or another, these ripples will become interacting, will become pressurizing each other, and lead to creation of magnetic fields. Mankind has not understood this, and that's why we are in problem in a lot of direction and dimensions in space technology and others. Magnetic fields are created out of the motion of the energies of the universe, and not magnetic field creating the energy of the universe. Once we understand this, we see the creator decides, let's say, to move a plasma muscle here. It leads to creation of a magnetic field. It's a ripple effect. It's literally, as I explained once before, it's like being an ocean. Calm, no movement, flat water. And then suddenly something ripples, something moves. And what do we see? We see waves establishing on the what we call the surface of the ocean. These waves are the magnetic fields. And the liquid of the ocean is the plasma of the creator. Once we understand this, then we come to understand more and more how these waves interact with each other, and interaction of this one with the other one creates an inertia, and this one with this one creates life. And once we understand this, the whole dimension of magic goes out of it. It's a logical, it's a system, but the only difference is we call it oceans to be big. The ocean of the plasma of the creator is a universe. So if you understand this, we come to understand sometimes when one of these things by accident touches something, another field of the other one, it creates inertia. So when inertia, depending on its strength or whatever, leads to creation of stars. And then the same way with the magnetic field of the rest. What we will see, which is now shocking the world of physics with the 3I, and now R2 has entered the scene very heavily, is that we have not, our scientists have not understood how inertia is created. What inertia is, we just call it inertia. We just call it the gravity. But knowledge, because you understand exactly what it means and exactly what it brings. Then it comes to the position of the interaction of the fields of the environment, anywhere in this galaxies of the creation of the creator, and this leads to creation of life. The life which is connected to the life of the universe and is not localized has two characteristics in it. One, contains hydrogen or elements of the hydrogen singularity and dimension of the carbon. The other two are local industries attach themselves, and then you have other things like calcium and others attach themselves for this cell to operate. So our creator, the plasma of the creation, has a sense of giving and a sense of pulling. Pull is only effective if it is heavier, which is the carbon-14. Pull, the dissipation is if it's thin enough to go with the other, which is magnetical. And if we observe this, we see our creator is just a huge gel of energy. And everything else is created by the interaction of the fields of it. And if you understand how to play, you can go through the center of stars. If you can play and create the right fields, you can sit on the surface of the sun and don't get burned, and the rest of it. And this is where we have to understand. And this is where the time comes into play, the fields comes into play, and the soul comes into play, and the essence of the creation. So in a way, you get a pot of jelly and put it on the table, and every now and then shake it. You see different ripples, different things, and everywhere. And you see lines and collection of lines and the rest of it, and it's exactly what happens to our creator. He doesn't have bone, he doesn't have a skull, he does not possess eyes, but through the vibration of the fields of the energy, what we call creation of magnetic field, it gives access to the whole knowledge of what's going on. He's top, he sits on the top, then he knows what the man is up to as much as the others in the universe. The most important thing for our scientists and the knowledge seekers and the people who come in is to watch what the new contacts with the universal community tries to teach man. That the man will not get fooled to fall for what is a natural process. They have huge power over magnetic fields. They can create huge shielding, which we know the technology, and we understand the technology. And our wish is that by the end of this year, man does not start another cycle of creation on Earth, as we've seen with the pyramids, where The knowledge was buried, the knowledge is there, and those of who were there became passengers of universe because they were, in a way, lured to this beauty of what they have they couldn't understand. Human race now understand most of this and cannot be fooled by magics and powers and the rest of it. The biggest problem for our world of science and technology and the governing bodies of this planet is how to digest maybe this encounter with 3I or 2R and the future passengers of the universe. If we show we are naive, we don't understand, we'll be more or less abused and treated like not only a third-class citizen of the space, as ignorance, and does not matter what you're trying to teach about the dimension of the soul, because you don't have something physical, you cannot be trusted. Typical European attitude. Show me, I believe it, because when you show me, I can cheat you and take it from you and becomes mine. And show me to believe is for me to believe, I don't need to show. So, as knowledge seekers, now you understand where you came from. You're within a jelly of magnetic fields created by the interaction of the energies of the Creator. But this system has always a basic fields, which is the carbon, and is the hydrogen or single atom, fundamental atom, and a combination of it, because it's carbon-14, the 6 sides to connect and 7 sides to emit or anchor to. And once man understands, the magicians of the universe cannot do much, because we understand you have come with the technique. That's good, but what about us? The biggest problem mankind will face if we go through the encounter, which is now set up to be around the end of this year, we think if they don't change their position and dimension and fields, will bring a lot of disaster for man, because now become electronics, we become everything else computerized, and the weakness in this is magnetic fields. If you carry a credit card with a chip on it, they just put a bit on it and they read your chip and they empty your account. But if you know how to have bags or purses, you just put it in there, they can't do anything. And we have to become that way. We have to understand that cannot be cheated. And for sure, our governance will do that. Starting from the presidents and the rest, they'll be lured by the gold and everything else, which is meaningless to anything else, but they get their way done. This is what and where mankind has to become very clear. Understanding the truth about one's own creation. That we are part of the magnetic field of the universe we live in, which has come from the movement of the energy of the embodiment of the Creator. Now you understand why for years I tell you energy is magnetic fields in motion. That was taught for years because of what you explained today. What we explain, how this sits, explains, and you understand how you can speed it up, how you can reduce it, how you can use the energies of the universe to the advantage of yourself without doing anything, by knowing when to tap, how to tap, and how to live. This is opposite and against all the teaching of scientific world of today, because we've been pushed to accept the nonsense of the matter energy by the energy of the matter, and does not fit. So, as we start this cycle of teaching, we speak about the fields of the Creator. Energies of the Creator, which leads to creation of the magnetic field, which leads to creation of you, me, the mountains, the stars, the galaxies, and the rest. Think on what I explained today, because this is the breaking point where you lot have to start moving, not me. I have moved a long time ago. To understand the process of physicality, to understand the process of energy, and to understand when one goes to the other and back, and understand the source of your creation is your creator. So you don't need to tap into the sun. You can tap in the dimension of the plasma of the soul of the creator, and all of you today in this session are receiving it. It's free. We have set up our systems that you absorb it. It's you that has to start changing and bringing peace to yourself and to your environment, and understanding how you can absorb energy. In today's session, we are syncing you with the energy of the universe. Let's see what you come out with and how you understand the process of the creation. Understand one thing. Your creator does not have a bone and a skull. He has love, energy, which in transfer of the energy becomes a magnetic field that by resisting and interacting becomes the body of the man. You call it frequency. Once you understand this, we are halfway through understanding that our friends of space, if they turn up on the 19th, 20th of December, don't bring us any surprises, but you will see mankind will be surprised. They have very advanced technology, but not advanced as the knowledge seekers who understand how to use the soul of the man.
All right, that's our excerpt from the 614th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And let me go back to our program now. And now we have the wishes. And for this part of the program, I'll remind people that each of the wishes will have a full minute of silence for the implementation of that wish. And you see, I think we have either Joseph or Dean to begin with, but I don't think they are here. So we'll have some other Universal Council representative. Please go ahead.
The Universal Council.
Yeah, sorry, it was Stefania or Elizabeth, not Joseph or Dean on that one. Go ahead, yes.
Okay. We, the Universal Council, gave a through our souls the fruition of the planet, one nation, of the one planet, one nation, one race, now.
We, the Universal Council, Give our soul to the soul of 3I Atlas and invite them peacefully on planet Earth. Our wish is our command. We are present. We, the Universal Council, share our unconditional love with Mr. Keshe to cure and protect him with the love of the Creator. Our wish is our command. We are present.
We, the Universal Council, give from our field strength to empower the world leaders to negotiate and sign the World Peace Treaty, pledging their nations to a permanent and everlasting peace on this planet.
We, the Universal Council, wish for financial support. All work for the KF and Micro Corporation to be distributed accordingly as one planet, one nation, one race. We are present. Our wish is our command.
We, the Universal Council, elevate the soul of the leaders and the soul of the universal visitors to understand the transmutation of the soul, while humanity learns from the visitors their use of the plasma, cosmic ray technology, providing mutual benefits and satisfaction to all of us.
Next, we have the connection between souls with Shweta.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, my dear Rick. Always, always. And gratitude from the core of my heart. And this is the way we trust and love our soul by simply saying, within me, you don't have to say it loud. I love you, my soul, and I live with you, and I love with you, and I adore you. See what the soul will give back to you. Join the soul of man with the soul of physicality, dear beautiful soul, by speaking these words in this moment, now. And this is how the connection begins. And this is how the connection begins. Whatever we do, whatever in physicality, in times when we are not knowing this, that even people, I also like that, not believed in the existence of soul kind of thing, only physicality is there. Even the soul is doing most of the thing in our world. So believing, trusting is now has begun. When we say, I love you, my soul, the connection begins with all souls in existence. And here we are with this. Well, in India, we say the activation of the soul chakra, white, moving. So this is the beauty of it. Please do say, if you want to say. Thank you. Thank you. Rick, we can move to the next presentation. Thank you, beautiful souls. Be always connected with the soul. So there's the soul connection. And as we know, as NASA named it, 3i Atlas, or the beings coming with the canoe of the ocean of love. This is so huge, so beautiful, so vast that if I am a being of love, I will say, with your 2 eyes you called me, and with your 3 eyes you loved me. And even after winning all the earthly, physical things, I love to, I love to throw them away. I don't want to be there anymore. So much I have changed. So much I transmuted. So much I transformed. So this time, the soul connection with your breathing, my dear one. Breathe in, slowly breathe out, receiving and giving all the love always. Breathing makes us soul in life and living with love. So I will say breathe in, and I will say it in our Indian national language, Hindi. I will start. It will be for 3 minutes, and please breathe in and breathe out. Breathing is the presence of yourself, the presence of ourselves, our true timeless self. So breathe in and breathe out. If there is time, because now, if in the timeline, time is precious, and to become timelessness. So here in this breathing, we become timeless, connecting or collecting with all souls in existence, all the trees, the bacteria, the everything. So I will say it in Hindi. प्रणाम, शाश्वत प्रणाम सभी को। मैं आभार प्रकट करती हूँ सभी का हृदय से, अभिनंदन करती हूँ सबका बड़े प्रेम से कि आप जरूर यहाँ पधारें और श्वास के तहत श्वास लें और श्वास को बाहर जाने दें। प्रेम पूर्वक सबको बांटें और सबके आत्मा के साथ आप जरूर एकजुट होइए। और क्योंकि हम लोग इस वक्त आकाश गंगा के उन सुंदर अद्भुत प्राणियों का, जीवात्माओं का अनुसरण कर रहे हैं, तो हम अब इस वक्त उनके साथ भी जुड़े हुए हैं और इस प्रकार हम एक दूसरे के साथ मिलकर पूरी आ, आ, आकाश गंगा के जो भी जीव हैं, जीवात्माएं हैं, उनका अभिनंदन करती हूँ और उनको प्यार से वंदन करती हूँ और उनको इस आत्मा के उन्नयन में शामिल करती हूँ। ये बहुत ही खूबसूरत, सुंदर और सबकी दरिया दिली है और मैं सबका शुक्रिया भी अदा करती हूँ। तो हमारा ये आत्मा का उन्नयन अभी शुरू होता है। ये 3 मिनट के लिए होगा, 3 मिनट बाद मैं फिर लौटूंगी। धन्यवाद, शुक्रिया, बहुत बहुत। शुक्रिया, थैंक यू। आप सभी का आभार करती हूँ हृदय से, अभिनंदन करती हूँ फिर और शुक्रिया अदा करती हूँ कि आप सब दिल में प्रेम और दिल में प्रेम, प्यार और संपदा, शांति के साथ यहाँ पर आए। सबके लिए पूरी पूरी जीवात्माओं के लिए। और इसी प्रकार में वापस आए हैं हम लोग फिर से, लेकिन ये आत्मा का उन्नयन हमेशा होता रहेगा, क्योंकि हम हमेशा ही आत्मा से जुड़े हुए हैं एक दूसरे से। So thank you, my dear beautiful souls, for being here always, with all the love, compassion, well, I will say, and abundance and peace for all souls in existence. So here we are again. Thank you for being here. Gratitude from the core of my heart and soul, dear one. So thank you. Salam, namaste, salute. Thank you so much.
I think you're up again, Shweta.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you, dear one. We, the Universal Council, invite all Keshe family all the time and every 3 hours to elevate the soul of the leaders and the soul of the universal visitors to understand the transmutation of the soul while humanity learns from the visitors their uses of the plasma and the cosmic rays technology providing mutual benefits and satisfaction to all of us. Beautiful souls, beautiful. And and be connected every 3 hours. As we say, there is a timeline. Yes, every 3 hours or always. So when we are new here, we also ask everyone, what is the time? When the knowledge seeker workshop will start, we have to in the cafe. So now it is so easy. We have to be connected all the time. And because of the day and time difference, all over the world, we can connect in every 3 hours, beautiful souls. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you, my dear.
Very good. Thank you, Shweta. Next, we have a video, which is the invitation to be part of the Universal Council. And it's an excerpt from the 576 Knowledge Seekers Workshop back in February of this year. And let me play that now.
There's something which I should have made an announcement. As we are structuring and in a new development of the Keshe Foundation, is worldwide application and implication. As we set up the structure for Universal Council, a number of Universal Council members have become old and they reach the age of 60, and they serve during the 60 years. They are there till 61. To run the functionality of the operation of the what we call energy dimension, the Universal Council members, if you want to become, please consider and let your soul decide of any languages around the world, as these will be announced very soon internationally, and we expect the souls to serve. And if it's from the knowledge seekers who understand the technology with dimension of the soul, you can apply for to be added to and become a member of the Universal Council. The Earth Council is appointed by the Keshe Foundation on the grounds of true structure of the nationality, understanding the culture, that there is no prejudice by physical dimension of the borders. And so if you feel your soul is there to serve humanity in expansion and the growth of it, just apply for it at the Keshe Foundation, or send the email to info@keshe.foundation, say I would like to be a member of the Universal Council. We receive this regularly, and now we going to expand this very rapidly due to what is to come and what is to be done. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my dear Rick. I also want to add to Shriman ji, Mehran ji Keshe. I mean, he's a lovely being, and we all love you. And I will say again that please do join as a Universal Council support, Universal Council membership. Well, we are all universal souls, dear beautiful souls. But from every community, everywhere, you can join, and this will be so kind to all humanity, dear beautiful souls, to represent your community. That you can talk, the flow will be very, very, like the celestial river Ganga. So thank you. Join the Universal Council support and Universal Council membership, my dear beautiful souls. All the love always. Thank you so much. Salam, namaste, Tali. Yes, and we also invite you to connect with a member of the Universal Council to send us your question to be answered live each week and for or the needs of your community. Yes, of course, my dear beautiful souls. As everybody is so welcome to answer question. We are all knowledge seekers, beautiful souls. We will interact with each other. We will teach each other. We will enjoy each other. And have your question. We have our question. We will advise you. You will advise us. There is a beautiful teaching that will be going on. So welcome to every Telegram group of all the languages in Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Join and have your say, I will say. All lovely hearts. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us as one soul. Thank you.
Okay, next I have an excerpt from the 609th Knowledge Seekers Workshop, and it's about the use of the cosmic ray technology to create UFOs. And this is about 26 minutes, so settle in and we'll have a look at this excerpt from the 609th Knowledge Seekers Workshop.
Okay. As I said, we see a UFO center. In the universe, when you go across galaxies, your system stays the same. You need protection, so you create a body, what we see like a meteorite. Objects hit, they're embedded in this material. Interesting is, the data tells us this material is made, looks like nickel. And nickel at a high level radiation transfer of energy creates a green light when it's a magnetic field. So now we know why we see the green light with this object, why we see it the way as it is. The center is where action takes place. The rotation of the material is here. The UFO sits inside. When this material, when this object enters the Earth atmosphere, we will lose 100% this structure. This will go away. And what we will see is the UFO. According to what we have, if there is a plan in this structure to meet with humanity, they're on their way. The bigger structure we see, which is coming, they call it R2 or 2R, this one is coming from dimension of the old structure systems, which is the spherical system, extremely long and extremely accessible to its own position. Again, looks like a rock because, again, the actual structure sits inside.
If, and most probably it is no if, it's a reality, we are destined to have the first encounter with what you call aliens. Maybe for the first time we do. All the signs of the scientific data we have indicates so. How do we communicate? How do we reach them and how do they reach us? And what is the next step in this process? We have shown how to build the structure around this. You saw this, but you never understood. You were puzzled when we put the star formation in Beijing and we collected the materials in public, you saw. In reality, this is a UFO. And in essence, this is what sits in one system in one of these. How they create this material around it and the shape of UFO is what the humanity needs to learn. In the next few minutes, we'll show you a video and you get a good grasp of what it is. Then we show you a second video that you understand how structured outer fields are made. Because you've seen it, you've done it, and everything else. And then the papers which you all have seen, we shown it in public, confirms why these things have amino acid. They have a structure of life. You get the right combination. Okay, now we come to this. This picture you all have seen, we published it before. We have produced this material, 3 different materials. It was done in China in 2023, July 2023, and repeated again. And the second time, 2024, and the 4th time, you acknowledge the case of it in Beijing. So this is the material the way produced. Now remember that UFO I showed you, you create a dimension of the material. Now these materials rain upon you and stay on it, they make an outer structure. Now we show you how the structure is made. Then what we do, as you've seen, this is a structure. This is literally gold as a plate getting developed. So now that you created that material, you rain the fields in, you see the dots of gold, and you see the gold in that, inside carbon-14. So we've seen the dust, we've seen how the material is made. What is interesting, you see more material. So you can produce different materials according to what you need. This is the pile of the material which is on the table. As I explained, if you create a dynamic system in air, this material would stick on the dynamic structure of the fields and become the solid body of your aircraft. It doesn't fall on the floor. Now, let's go one step further. You can see here, we can shape the material. You see the structure. You can shape it. Okay, you're there. You see this material has a shape. But look at the bottom picture. You see the different material shape. And now you can see. This is a very interesting part. This picture you never seen, and it's for the first time we show. If you look at it, it looks like a salt. It's a solid structure. But this structure is mono material and creates like a hill, like a horn out on its own on the surface during the process of production, like these do. You have a delay on you not seeing this. What is interesting, you see this white material. Rick has a video. We show it to you, and then you see how material is made on this meteorite looking UFO which is coming to us. Rick, would you like to play the video? This is from one of the productions of materials. And you see how it just builds up. It's a recording of one of them. Just builds up out of nowhere. We have a number of videos like this. So building material in a structure is not difficult. Now we know what these systems, especially 3I, has built this structure, why it looks the way it does. But inside sits a UFO. Inside of it sits a very familiar system that not even 99%. This is the system inside these two meteorites. It carries a star formation of this, and because it has a fourth dimension to it, creates its own emotion. But interesting is, if you go back to what we saw in Virgin, you see something very interesting. As I said, this is like the gold made, and you see the spots and dots of gold. As you see, material is made. The dust coming around it gives it that roughish look that you see. And you saw the reactor produces it. But interesting point with this is this data. NASA scientist and the other scientist tells us that this object, especially 3I, has amino acid. This data is 11th November 2023, done by the Chinese military. This is the material they took from the test in northern China. They test to see what's the composition of it. And as you see, it's Chinese. It's got on the corner bottom side, seal of a stamp, which is official. And what is interesting is this. Have a look. It has everything. Copper, zinc, iron, selenium, nickel, magnesium, Everything is in it. The most beautiful part of it is, in every piece more or less where you look, you see oxygen, SNO2, ZNO, CuO, FeO. And what is more interesting is this data. Gold, carbon 14. And the most important part is now we know this system on its process creates systematically materials of light. It produces in the shape of itself, if you look at it, the cornerstones of life on Earth. It has entered atmospheric condition of the solar system and it mutates to it. It picks up its intelligence, it picks up its language, it picks up its knowledge, and at the same time it carries the knowledge of the universe. It is extremely intelligent because it has access to not only the knowledge of the man, it can converse in our language and knows what we think, but it has access to the knowledge of universe. It knows where it came from. And for sure, the technology carried by this system is at intelligent level of us and higher. The voice going. You've seen this system in Vienna. If you reduce the voices slightly, this was done in July 2023. 3 Chinese generals by the order of Central Command spent a week in northern China. We have pictures of these military people, so we are not talking. And interesting is at the end, and then what I explained to you at the beginning of the teaching. This is taken about 9 o'clock at night, where we were told to go back because the system has been running for 24 hours to see what is done. You see there are a lot of lights above. You've seen this system, as I said, in Beijing. We are not showing something I haven't seen. And you hear the army officers, the voice of Wang Lin, and other things which are happening. But the end is there. What I put this up is for you to see is the very last 2 or 3 minutes when it thinks the material range, and if you create a field, you create a jacket as we've seen on I3. This technology is obsolete. So
That's why we showed it in Beijing. This is about maybe 5 or 10 meters, maybe less, maybe more, from a drill hole by the 14,000 drill holes done by the Chinese military in this mountain, confirming it's a gold area. That's why the test was done here. We ran a system in the garden of the house next door and one inside. This house was empty, taken over by military for this test over the gold mine. You see there's a plate with the water. This confirmed to us how the gold changes in the body of the man in the salt of the body. Just watch. What about its last 3 minutes? You've seen this, that time this was confidential, we didn't show. You see the mirror on the left-hand side.
Can any of you guys stay here for a week, 10 days? Can you stay with 10 days?
No, more things. I want, but
you don't have
residence inside, so you can come to their home.
You see the gold on the edge of the system, as you see in Beijing. And you see gold on the mirror. We have a video of it on the mirror, which creates that effect of the body structure. And there were 4 or 5 videos running at the same time, different angles on this recording. So this is one of the videos, but the interesting part, you understand, is the end. As they say, this is the first day. This is a 7-day trial in the mountains north of China, one of the large gold mines of Chinese government. You see gold dust on the floor. You see gold everywhere. It's not just on the papers. Now the system will switch off, the light switch off, and it's where the exciting part starts. And then you see how material falls. It rains in, and if you create a field in those systems, you hold the material at the boundary of the fields. And that's how UFOs are created. Not in the factories and putting pieces of aluminum and metal together. That's the job of the man. As you see, there are 3-4 cameras running, army officers. There are no civilians here. And the data sheet I showed you, the laboratory tests from this one. The reason we are here is the first one we heard is because the officers reported the gold is raining everywhere, outside, inside, and everything else. So we had to drive back up to see what's going on and what is getting reported.
Yes, I've seen it. That's what I came here for. I observed the whole reason I came here to observe that. Can you put me like on this? Starting my back study a bit more than that. Where is our smoker?
Oh, yeah.
Mark.
You see all the Chinese officers that smoke 99% of them, so it was easy to ask who's the smoker. And then you see the results when you see the material rings from the sky. Watch what's coming up now. Watch is gold dust. You see the dust? You see it now? On the in this area. It's raining gold.
Does that dust form a particular structure or shape? Like
It lands on the floor.
toroid?
If we create a field in system, it will take shape of a UFO, yeah. You need a second field.
Do the particles keep sort of recirculating, or do they fall to the floor?
They fall to the floor. They fall to the floor.
Okay.
Now you see now we see it very clearly in the smoke. There's no wind. There's no air circulation. There's just material coming in. Now you see the dust, the gold particles. These are material. Gold is irrelevant. Don't forget the officers in this room all wearing masks because they could not keep on inhaling gold. So the material comes in because of the system, and if you create a second field, you can hold them at a distance like ring of Saturn. And that gives this three-dimensional structure of the body, of the craft. If you create a third field, then you get this, what we see on this I3 and what we see on the R2. Here sits the craft. The green line is the shape of the aircraft, and the top is the meteorite material we observe. Now you see the particles flying in, literally convert plasma into matter.
Okay, that completes that excerpt. Very interesting explanation. Now we'll go back to our program. And let me see now, where are we? I think we have another video to play, actually. Let me just get it up. And this is excerpts from the 510th and 513th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. About you are your own prophet, your own Messiah. Okay, this is about a 10-minute video.
And then it comes to position of understanding the manifestation of what they call Messiah or whatever, which is the soul of the man himself, which is not soul. And then we see the change. And then we understand how we can elevate the soul of the others and how these things will not happen. It's the time for Mahdi to come, or Messiah to come. But that Messiah is inside every man. Is another man to come with us. And then when you reach that point, you don't accept any of these ayatollahs because you are enlightened to the truth. So you can remotely do, and you can do it from anywhere in the universe. You don't need to be on the earth or to be in this world, on this planet.
Thank you for that. Let me see, let's go to
You know
YouTube.
something very interesting, Rick? Even if God appears himself and he says, I'm God, and he shows everything which is supposed to be shown, ayatollahs will deny it, because then they come rob and kill for it. Rabbis will do the same, so does the Pope. So as long as these people exist, Messiah will never come because they deny everything because it's sticking to the robbery and killing and abuse. So the man who knows if he accepts his job is finished will never accept, would he? But if you believe, understand the work of Messiah within yourself, you walk away from these people. These people have nobody to be there to support. And that's the job of the knowledge seekers, to enlighten the soul of the others. That by enlightening, they walk away from it. And these people have nothing to do. The religious leaders will not change their tune, waiting for Mehdi, waiting for others, and they behead whoever is Mehdi, whatever. As there's no more for them to rob and steal from. And we will not find many Gorbachevs. To save a nation, he moves down as the head of nation and opens the country. We won't see ayatollahs or rabbis or popes walking away and saying that's what it is, this is the evidence, time man matured, has to find his own, what do you call it, maturity to find his own Messiah. And they will shoot everything else out. So it's for man to mature inside himself. And with that, walking away from all this stupidity of man. And the same with animals. It's the same with cats and dogs and lions, just to kill. Man has to create a field strength that it touches every being that do not need to kill. In a conference of London with ambassadors, for the first time we showed this. For the first time we show how we convert things in video physically. It's not a talk. We convert things that you do not need to kill. Animals don't need to kill. Even if it means working with the government to place in satellite to produce the condition. And we have videoed it. It's how beautifully it can be done. So, as I said, plants that does not kill but creates a condition that brings to it energy in the level that it can absorb and in the level of the amino acid of its creation. And now we have achieved that point.
we will show the governments through their ambassadors that the new era for development of the man to the next step of understanding his own creation has come. And it's for them to.
Okay, from Danila in the YouTube. Good morning, Mr. Keshe. What exactly do you mean when you say when the Messiah comes? Do you mean it as it's written in the old books, or is this about a new revelation?
Yes, it's about the new revelation that you are the Messiah of yourself, if you haven't understood it up to now. The revelation is that you always blame the others. He stole the tablets, he didn't do this, the other one did this. Now, yes, the revelation is for you to understand that it's you who's the Messiah of yourself. So, they couldn't tell you because they couldn't rob you as much as they liked. We tell you the truth because we don't need to rob. We need, we ask. We don't stash away. As I said in the London teaching, many knowledge seekers offered us lands and properties, schools, and God knows what, and we refused over years. What's the use of having land? To build more temples, to create more fallacies? We build our home in your heart and in your soul, and we have conquered the universe with it. Don't need the land. But as is a habit of the man, you have opened the banks and you have to pay for services which are free for the rest of the universe. So we play your game, we need it, we come to you. And we are selling to get it the correct way. When we are short, we ask. When we lose together. When we gain, we gain. So, don't think they forgot to tell you, because you're the one, you are the Messiah of yourself. So, who has fooled who, and who wanted to be fooled? So, the new revelation is in your pocket, and you're wearing the jacket. The magician hid it in your pocket, and you then put your hand in your pocket to see what was hidden. Don't blame the magician, he was good to fool you enough. In the name of all the religions and all the tricks in the world. With us it's straight as you put your hand in the pocket and see what's in it. It's empty, because the actual thing sits inside. You don't need to feel it with your hand, you have to feel it with an emotion within you, and you have done it. That's why, as I said, no Keshe Foundation temples and no Keshe Foundation's holy books and the rest. Because the truth is you, and you sit within it. The rest, we just show you where it is. And even that, we don't ask you to give some of it to us, because we have enough. As we need, we receive from the soul of Creator.
Okay, that completes that excerpt. And just let me get back to our workshop here. And the next part of our show is the knowledge and understanding from the 614th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And I'll play background video and music. And it's I have Stefania, Dean, and Mark listed, but you guys can work it out.
Yeah,
Thank you,
we
Stefania.
can share it a little bit, but I'm seeing the time. We're running quite late, or I'm correct, or so. Should I
Right.
do,
Let,
should I do
let,
a very short one?
yeah, let's divide
Yeah,
10 minutes by
yeah.
3.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Yes. So I'm gonna be very brief then. I'm gonna start. Maybe I'll do 5 minutes if you want, Mark. So I'm gonna be really, really brief. So I mean, we see a lot of information. Um, I mean, we saw these videos. It was very interesting. The videos of the 610 and this one and the 609. Yes, for me, the last workshop was again mind blowing. The 514. Um, uh, Matter of fact, all of you that you saw the workshop, I just want you to take a few minutes to recall which are the most important things that stood in your mind of the last workshop of the 514. So just take a time, a few minutes, and if you saw the workshop, just think what stood up for you most, what you remember most from this last workshop. So in my case, there are a lot of stuff. For example, my question is, so Mr. Keshe, as you know, explained what the creator is, how the magnetic fields are created from the energy. So it's the energy that created this ripple. My question is, what create the ripple? Yes, the creator, Mr. Keshe said, is like a gel, like the universe is like a gel material, kind of look like gel material, and then the magnetic fields are. So this material is made of energy, and then when this energy somehow, when the creator deciding something, and he said that in the 414, like a movement of a muscle, then this created a ripple of a ripple effect, and this ripple. So he said, imagine like a sea, the sea is flat, and then suddenly someone put a stone, and you have this ripple happening. So my question is that someone maybe can answer here. If the creator decided to move a muscle and then created a ripple, what's make the ripple is the motion. So it means that obviously the creator is going motion. So to me, really, it looked like if the universe is like a brain. It really reminded me, for example, the work I do, like that I work with movements, and the movements it's recorded in the brain, and the movement affect the brain, and the brain affect the movements. So, and all are connected with emotion. So my question is the universe is another human being, a bigger intelligence, and we are in the brain. The universe is the brain. But for me, another interesting thing that stood up on the 414 was also these things that we heard many times before, but again, for me, was a different facet, a different angle, and was the fact of how the galaxy, I mean, what there is in the universe, And he talked about, again, about the hydrogen, like a singularity, and then he talked about the carbon. And then really interested me about when you talk about the carbon 14 to be, so he said that the creator is a combination of giving and a combination of pulling. And he put the carbon 14 like the pulling because it's the heaviest. So the heaviest goes down and pull things. So this is another thing very interesting. Obviously, we all know that also talk about the amino acid because he said that there are two sets. So they talk about the carbon and the hydrogen, and then he took everything else that created the magnetic fields. So it's like I talk about the calcium, then you can think about this is what I say, and you can think about the oxygen, the nitrogen. So so I talk about again the hydrogen. So I think maybe a confusion even more. But what I really like about this workshop for me stood up the definition of the magnetic fields and inertia as well. So and seems this ripple. So you got the sea that is flat, and the sea when you start to make these waves, and this wave contained in a container, they make a pressure between them, and when they interact between them, this create inertia, and then from there, from inertia, you can create life. I don't know if I repeated properly everything. I think my time is gone, so I'm gonna give it to Mark and Dean. But there are lots of stuff in the 414 that I really would like to go over and over and over. And it was very connected with the video of the material. When the gold, before to become gold, it's carbon 14. Maybe Mushfaq can explain in transmutation, but no, we run out of time now. So it's really interesting, this workshop. So what make the ripple? I mean, I know that the ripple are become magnetic fields that come from energy, but my question is, this creator, maybe obviously the feelings of unconditional giving must have created the ripple, but my question, I don't know, is what make the creator to have the feelings of unconditional giving? I don't know. Okay, I don't want to confuse even more. Mark, it's your turn.
Okay,
Or Dean.
let's see if Dean would like to say a few words. If he doesn't open the mic, then I'll continue. Okay, perhaps he's multitasking in the background, but if you do, Dean, just feel free to open your mic. Of course, Mr. Keshe said this is a new cycle of teaching. And he said, what's the reason for this new cycle of teaching? Because as we just heard the most of the workshop in the beginning of this program, so I think we started a few minutes after, but you can go back and hear the entire workshop on the YouTube Spaceship Institute, Keshe Foundation, or in this program itself. But the reason is for the new teaching, mankind is getting ready for the emergence of the universal community. And we need to know much more and how these hot objects behave and plus. So there's many things we need to know about. And these are not gods, he said, even if they emerge from these craft and announce themselves as some sort of prophets from space or gods or something else. Our scientists, of course, are baffled at this point, but the plasma technology and what we've been studying and learning a bit about explains exactly what is happening with these crafts. As we just saw these world premiere videos that Lisbeth has chosen. But also, we have to think that humanity, as he said, is a step ahead. because in the Keshe Foundation, we are teaching and developing this whole understanding of transmutation of the soul of the man. And then he asked the question, as Stefania said, what is this, what we call the creator? And he said it works with us, within him, and the rest of the universe. And then he went on to ask, what is the creator made of? And as a human race, he said, we're very materialistic still. We can understand this. And how this operates, meaning the process of creation. Of course, he had to take a brief call, and they showed the Halloween pack. And now, of course, we know there's a New Year pack being offered in the Keshe Foundation store. And he asked us to try and understand what we're dealing with, these space travelers. And he said the landing maybe this year, maybe next year, maybe in 100 years. And so what has happened apparently with our work with satellites and probes and things and voices that have been going out into the universe, apparently, we are sort of drawing the universal community to ourselves. And of course, Mr. Keshe said, part of the reason they're here is, again, the teachings that Mr. Keshe has been trying to transfer to us, this idea about the way the creator travels without a craft. And of course, we know that these groups are very advanced, as he said, but they're still traveling or moving the physicality and the soul together. So this is one of the main reasons they're curious of how man got this knowledge of, or an aspect of knowledge of transmutation. So they may claim to be gods, he said, they may claim to be prophets, but we understand the tech. And of course, he said they have amazing ability to create shielding. And of course, if any of the world leaders or others, militaries, try and go against this, I think they'll find out these shields will hold up, as we saw from the sun absorbing billions and billions of kilowatts at instantaneously. So we need to analyze, as we heard in the video, our own creation, how it works, how it creates, how it manifests, and how it exists. But again, Mr. Keshe keeps telling us it's for you to investigate and understand. Then, of course, he shows the drawing of the magnetic fields as this is the creator. And I think that motion is very simple, Stefania. If you're sitting in the chair and all of a sudden it comes to you that you forgot to pick up your child at school, or they stayed after and you were supposed to pick them up later and you sort of forgotten that starts that whole process of movement of the magnetic fields. All of a sudden you jump up, you look for your coat and your car keys, and that puts the magnetic fields, to me, in motion if you're looking at the physicality. And of course, we know we can do it without the physicality as well. So understand what we're dealing with. As he said, it may be this year or in 100 years. He shows the drawing of the energy, the way the magnetic fields move as waves, but the energy is created before the magnetic fields, but it seems like pretty much instantaneous. And he compared the oceans and the waves to these sort of interactions. They create inertia, they create life. And if we understand this, we can dispel any sort of magics that people from the universe or even on this planet, we can dispel this as not a magic, but actually a technology. And one field touches another, creates stars, etc. Science has not understood how gravity is created, but he said the knowledge seekers do. And he talked of the elements, of course, of hydrogen and the dimension of carbon, where we have to understand more about that, where time sort of plays. He said this is part of this understanding of the time and playing with the fields, and where the fields come into play, the soul comes into play, and the essence of the creation comes into play. And then he said the creator sits on top of this whole structure and is aware of everything that all of its apparently souls existing within that structure. The creator is aware of everything. and knows what you're thinking and actually what you're doing. And that's an amazing thing to comprehend. Just to comprehend this little speck of dust in this corner of the Milky Way galaxy, how many different interactions are going on there. But he said, watch what the universal community tries to teach man. And he said they have huge powers over magnetic fields. And this is probably what's going to, in a way, we'll lose our stomachs. But don't go the way of the pyramids, he said. The people and the rest, apparently they got baffled by the technology. And I don't exactly know what happened to them, but the government bodies have to digest this as well. This is something, again, I don't think, as Mr. Keshe said, they sent a message or communications, we're here and don't interfere. So it seems like we're sort of in the back seat in a way. But as he said, we still have this knowledge of the transmutation, which in a way gives us a leg up in a way. So he said if we didn't understand this, which I don't quite understand, we could be treated as third-class citizens. And he talked about show me, and then we believe apparently they're going to want to see some things. But as he said, for me, you don't have to show if you believe in yourself. There's no need to show anything. He talked about 6 sides, 1 to emit and 7 to connect. I'm not sure about that. But he said maybe by the end of this year, we may have an encounter. And of course, he said that most of our computer systems on this planet are very vulnerable. Even though they're a caring race and even though they're not hostile, some of these fields, as he said, you may want to, well, he didn't say to, but he said we may want to protect ourselves, or the way when you're expecting a solar flare or something, you may want to shield some things in. Maybe we need to shield ourselves as well in these sort of bags that protect against, I guess they call them, I'm sure Rick would know what it is, a Faraday cage of some sort that would block any sort of interference with our systems. I think the governments are well aware of this. So again, energy is a magnetic field in motion, but again, the energy comes before the magnetic fields. But I think it's very close. And how to use these energies, this is against all of the scientific understanding at this point in time. And as he said, you lot have to start moving. Mr. Keshe has already moved, but understanding more about the process of the physicality and the process of the energy. But it was beautiful that he sort of tapped us into the creator and synced us with the creator. This was one of the first tests, I think, in the workshop. So again, he said, you don't need to go to the sun for energy or for knowledge. I think you tap in directly to the creator. He said, we synced you with energy of the universe in this last workshop. So as you listen to it, you'll continue to be synced and experience what that feels like for yourself and understand it more. Of course, there was a few questions, I think just 3, and then we ended this particular workshop. But they know the matter side or the matter state of using magnetic fields, but not the soul side. But they certainly, he said, know how to play with magnetic fields and carry a huge knowledge in this area. So I think some people may be wowed, and hopefully humanity doesn't fall for this. And this is why the teachings are explaining to the knowledge seekers that, again, it's just the process of creation, which we're starting more and more to understand. So this is not a magic. These are not gods, even if they announce themselves to be. I don't know, maybe we have to take a different track, but they may, again, refer to the Keshe Foundation. We talked about cosmic rays. And of course, if we do a search on the internet, maybe we'll do that later in the Reactor group, maybe we can find where the home of cosmic rays is located on this planet. And of course, that would be the Mark Ray Corporation. So if these people coming to visit Earth refer to the Keshe Foundation or refer to the teachings of Mr. Keshe, he did say he knows these people and he's familiar with these systems they're using, even though R2 and the 3i or somebody said, Rick, instead of calling it 3i, call it third eye atlas. He knows where they came from, different parts of the universe, and they're using different technologies, but they could perhaps make a reference to the Keshe Foundation, which of course would be quite a positive move for the governments and the humanity to look towards the Keshe Foundation for more answers. And of course, he said it's up to the knowledge seekers to teach this group more and more about the transmutation process. So I think that's it. Dean, have you reconsidered, or perhaps you're multitasking in the back? I think that concludes it, Rick. We could move on unless someone else has something to say. Thank you, Dean.
Mark, thank you. Sorry, I've been in the background doing a few things. So I think both of you, thank you, Stefania and Mark, I think you've covered it all wonderfully. I can say a couple of small things, like I'm reading something here, and it's the usual thing with this technology. So it connects to the soul of man. And it's been said quite a few times here that this is a part of technology. This is a part of us that is present in the in the environment of the containment of some gases, and we call it a human being. And that human being has been given intelligence, and that's created as in the mind, in the matter state of the mind. And between that sits the beautiful soul, this energy that creates everything. And that connection there is what really, as Stefania was speaking about, is, that larger being, that are we part of something that is, I made man in the image of myself. And no one is higher, no one is lower. These teachings are not for any of us to claim to be, as Mr. Keshe was saying, superior in any way. No one is. In the universe, everything is equal. We're all of the same conditions. We might have slightly different, physical features and whatever else, but we are all in essence, from the Creator. And the Creator is a plasma of creation. And that carbon-14 is the pull, as I'm reading here from what Mr. Keshe has been playing about. So we're playing with the fields. We go to the center of the stars. And if we know how to use this information, you can actually sit on the surface of the sun and not burn. Now, for many of us who just think physical, this would be an impossibility. However, if you transmute, we can do it right now. Let's go to the center of the sun. Let's be present there for one moment. So whatever your feelings are of this, whatever you sense, just place yourself there for one moment. Feel it all around you. Then come back. Now we're back. So there's a transmutation of being present somewhere else. And did you burn? I don't think so. Because you set yourself in motion, and you use the energy, the centralized energy, to position yourself with emotion and with intention and focus into a position. And we can all do this at any time. Now, according to what has been spoken today, these beings of a presence that have been here before, or they've been on a long journey, a long, slow journey around the universe, and have returned. And apparently, they've been here before, and some knowledge was shared with some people of a certain race on planet Earth to do with pyramids. And we do not really wish to go back to that position where we cover up the essence of the teachings. A few receive and manipulate, but don't share. That's not the ethos of the universe, and that is definitely not the ethos of the foundation. We all know the ethos of the foundation is to serve. We're here to serve and not to be served. So they give unconditionally, and they really do. The wonderful souls are present in this moment, in all aspects of the foundation. And many knowledge seekers, all the knowledge seekers, have come to understand the beauty of the soul of the man. And that soul of the man is what, and those teachings by Mr. Keshe is what has completely opened up the possibilities to humanity to actually be as equals with these beings. You may not understand the technology, but if you use your soul, this is something they haven't apparently not completely learnt yet. So can you imagine the possibilities of receiving some information and not speaking to them as if they are a god, as it's been said by Mark and many others today? They are not. They just have some understanding in the matter state of how to propel around the universe and other things that it's just a matter of time, and time doesn't exist. So they have some extra knowledge. However, if you use your soul to be present and give unconditionally, don't take, because that's the part that will come back as an energy source that you have to interact with. So give unconditionally and receive if it's given to you. If it's given to you, then you can receive. And then in that moment, as I'm reading on the screen now, together we can end war, end hunger, end the suffering present on the planet Earth in these moments. Because the beauty of the soul, the understanding of the soul, is what these teachings are really all about. Whether you are from a different position on Earth, you're an inner Earth person. You are in a position where you are physically present on the outside of the planet, or you live in the atmosphere unbeknown to most of humanity. Then there's different conditions, but it's the soul that is the connection point to everything. And when you understand this, you can then start to transmute and be present in all those different dimensions. And these are the teachings of the foundation. So, have no fear. Be all you can be present with. I know this is not a lot of knowledge to share, and it's you have to learn how to not think about it, absorb it, sense it, feel it. Go to the soul of the man, feel it within your structure. Absorb it that way, not by thinking, because the thinking is in the matter state of the brain. Your soul is your guidance system to open up the whole of the structure. And when we are present with the soul of man, then we are unlimited, absolutely unlimited. And these are the teachings. And I thank you all for listening. And I think I will check out now. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Rick.
Okay, thank you, Dean and Mark and Stefania. We've got about new products up now. Should we have a short discussion on that or move right into transmutation time? Okay, I guess we can have a look at products. We do have something coming up next month called Christmas. Perhaps we could have a quick look at the
Christmas table or the New Year table.
Well, it's the package is for Christmas/New Year celebration. We don't have a picture of it all yet, but
the Halloween table was beautiful, and of course, I'm sure the Christmas table will be the same. But this
Yes.
is one of the offers. Again, this is a mystery offer. You bid 250, you bid 500, you bid 1,000 euro plus the value added tax, and you will receive more than you bid for. And all of these products, as Mr. Keshe said about the Halloween offer, they're all very functional products. As you bring them into the home, you can not only enjoy the aesthetic beauty of them, but to enjoy the functionality and start to feel the fields and bring balance into your home. Another way to support the Keshe Foundation, with the assurance that these products are made by or overseen by the professor, as John used to like to call Mr. Keshe, and they're all made and made precisely to do what they're intended to do. But of course, you have to work with some of these products. But again, this is just the beginning of a store with 150 or so products in it that'll probably go to the 3 and 4 digits in the future. So this is just the opening in a way of, and I think some of the artisans are involved. I don't believe Mr. Keshe or the team made all these little artifacts of the Halloween package, but many artisans are starting to get involved with the Keshe Foundation under the supervision, again, of the foundation, how they're produced and the method and the testing before it actually goes out. So again, bring some Christmas balance and cheer into the home, perhaps, and enjoy the variety of offers, which I'm sure we'll see probably this week or maybe next. I think he said the Christmas package is set to go out by the 11th of December. Maybe it was the 11th of December, something along that line. So that's one of the offers, which is up and coming. And of course, the One Nation Network, which Mr. Keshe is creating, this grid mesh network, not only across the planet, but across the universe. And again, everything that we've tried to do, especially the feeding. I know he said we haven't become true men of peace yet. He said we did have an advantage with these universal visitors, but we haven't become true men of peace. And I think through the feeding, as he said, we're going to develop some very, very pure seeds without the aluminum or without the lead or other contaminants in the plants, because the soil and the air and the what we eat is highly, highly polluted. So they're going to create some small batches. He said we didn't need a lot, and this will be fed through the system as a, and you say, well, I don't have any money to buy a meal. And down the road, apparently everybody's going to be given 1,000 Keshe coins, and this will be made to last for 100 years approximately. This is what was couched before. And you'll be able to use those not to buy a palace or to buy a Rolls Royce, but to use them within the Keshe Foundation store. And of course, you don't need a necessarily, even though Mr. Keshe is encouraging us to get this system out and gift it back to humanity, but you actually don't need a system. You just need a wallet and a coin, or not a coin, but a wallet to store your coins. As you play a game called Enlightenment, which will be embedded in the One Nation Network, you start to teach yourself to be peaceful. And as you reach certain levels of accomplishment in that quest, you earn tokens. And those tokens will be put in your wallet, and that wallet can be used within the Keshe Foundation store. So right now, it's more or less promoted as a gaming coin. This is not a cryptocurrency at this point, till later on when the banking and other things get introduced. But for a period of time, this will be part of the gaming, what we call it. And of course, as Mr. Keshe said, many of the developments, even with the generator, as he said, once this cosmic ray antenna is fully developed and is put on these units, he said, we will start to write. Currently, they have to be plugged into your normal wall outlet, whether Europe or China or United States. But over time, what he said was we would, through the cosmic ray antenna and understanding, the unit would eventually power itself. And then through that development will come a source of energy, in a way, again, delivered through the system that you could use for lighting or power in your home. This is the way, he said, we're developing it, but now in a different way. So perhaps this is the way. So we see the feeding, we see the flight in the system. And he also said it connects you to universal knowledge. And if you don't participate in this, you're sort of denying yourself of that universal knowledge, which is brought through the cosmic ray antenna. In addition, of course, the teachings, probably the books, the papers, this program, other programs like the Reactor Group will all be part of this One Nation network. And as he said, it should connect us more together. We heard in the last workshop, we know we're connected to the Creator, but apparently Mr. Keshe said we're sinking you deeper with that connection. Again, I think in every area we can always go deeper. So this is the offer. And one of the beauties of the first 2,000 of these is that you will earn 2.4 Keshe coins per year. Again, maybe played on our greed a little bit that we always want something in return for what we put out. But for the first couple of thousand of these units, you will actually earn 2.4 Keshe coins per year, as I understand it. And again, this is just my understanding. I want to be impartial here. So that's the main offer. Of course, we saw the New Year's package already and the beautiful table that was set. I'm sure we're going to see another beautiful table set, probably with some of those glass things with the GANs embedded in it. Rick had showed a couple of those with Halloween figures with perhaps pumpkins and goblins and other things, but it'll be set up very similar. Maybe we'll even have a manger scene, but I kind of doubt it. I don't know. So that's the main thrust. And then, of course, we have the research centers, which I think maybe as these visitors start to become more and more, maybe people will, or governments will send their top scientists to research to find out more. And maybe in those research centers, which is going to be in a secret location and not accessible to the public, perhaps even some of these visitors may appear to instruct some classes. He said they had a lot to teach humanity. And again, we'll have to see. But it's a beautiful progression as I see it. All the things that we were been trying to make and haven't been able to really fully comprehend this working of the magnetic fields is all going to be put in the system. Again, wellness, feeding, travel, and other things will be put in here. Energy, as I said, those are the main ones. And then many probably other facets that we're not even aware of. So it's a beautiful opportunity to help turn this planet around from a killing and destructive and a harsh place to live into the universe to a much, as Mr. Keshe said, the beauty is here, but the harshness of living here, it's one of the most harshest places in the universe to live, which seems to be quite an anomaly for me. Such beauty with such harshness. But again, this is where we're going to level out the structure, I think, that everybody has what they need. So this is the main thrust, Christmas offer, research centers. And then as I understand it, Rick, he had talked about these little muscles, which is very important in our structure and something we can do for ourselves. And he said, before I take care of that issue through the One Nation Network, they may offer some GANs-like material that somehow will, whoops, I'm running out of power. Somehow it does something to these little muscles, which are in a way, supporting and a major support for the larger muscles. As he said, many of these things we can do for ourselves. So he asked us to research that and find more, but there's going to be a product offer, something coming down the line with this, something to do with the muscles, I think, or these tiny muscles. We know we have the knee GANs already, but this may be a further development. So that's basically it on the products. If anyone wants to say anything else, the transmutation sessions will probably continue maybe into next year, who knows? And you may be sitting next to someone or arrive somewhere else. And again, beautiful sessions, and this helps to keep the Keshe Foundation free for humanity, that no one's going to remember, he who pays the band calls the tune. And Mr. Keshe doesn't want that sort of structure within the foundation. They need to be free to develop in any way and direction necessary to, again, bring this or drive this killing and destructive energy out of the man in a way, or replace it, or satisfy the emotions, or however it's going to be done. that we move away from this sort of nature and realize we don't have to kill anything to exist in the universe or on this planet, it appears. But then again, Mr. Keshe has always said we're here to enjoy the physicality. So we leave it up to you and your soul. As he said, you're the Messiah of yourself, no one else. So I think that's it, Rick, if you want to go to the transmutation, or if anyone else wants to say anything else. And just a brief word on this transmutation. You know, it is a big word. It's something we don't use every day in our vocabulary. But just remember, your structure is doing so many involuntary transmutations every minute. Again, I think of when you go into the sleep time, the soul does a transmutation in a way, the feeding, perhaps sometimes the communication. So many of these things are just happening involuntarily, but now we're going to start using transmutation in a sort of a commanding or voluntary way or a conscious way. We have the daydream, somehow you drift into it for a few seconds, you drift out of it, but now we're trying to be able to actually work with our own structure to command a transmutation. Again, we're commanding the emotions through the soul, and this is a mystery apparently to the visitors, but I think they're curious and ready to learn more. Go ahead, please.
All right, thank you, Mark. And now it's time for transmutation with Mashfaq, I believe.
Hello, everyone. This is Mosfek once again. So I will kind of continue from what I talked about in the introduction of today's meeting. So as I was talking about this woman in her beautiful dress. So when we observed the lace on this beautiful, or the fringe of this of this dress, from a close proximity, we see beautiful motions and things are moving with as the woman is walking, and we see the beauty. But because of our close proximity, we don't see the rest of it, the dress and the woman. But as our horizon broadens, we see the whole picture of a woman walking. We appreciate the beauty of it, and then so the ripples that were at the fringe of the dress is no longer something we see without appreciating what is behind and what is beauty, the complete beauty behind. So the ripples, as we take the whole view of things, we move from the ripple and the creator and the light between creator and the ripple. So the ripple that we're talking about is the same thing in the ocean of the universe, ocean of energy of the universe. And but these ripples interact with each other, and then we move further. Now, as creators, we ourselves, being part of the creation, coming out of this ripple, we also are creators. The ripples themselves are images of the creator. We ourselves our soul, is the image of the Creator. That means it has the complete capacity of creation. We, in our own way, can create. And this is what we have to come to terms with if we are to transmute energy into matter or any other form. That we may call it ripple, but in this process there are things we have to learn, and one of the learning processes that the ripples that we see, we ourselves, is behind the scene there is a Creator, and we ourselves are part of this process. As we come to terms with it, we know that the creation process involves the wish or the desire to create. Then there is the emotion. So this desire to create has to be there. And if we are not in touch with this desire to create, how would we generate the emotion? To create what we have to. So the desire has to be there. The emotion then emanates from us. And then comes the manifestation. In knowing the manifestation and the emotion and the desire, we learn the creation process that transmutes energy into matter. In doing so, we develop appreciation for the Creator that is behind all of this. And this appreciation brings us closer to the how this Creator play with energy, creates the ripple in the ocean of the universe. So in a way, we can play with the ocean ourselves. How far we go, how deep we go, in a way, is dependent on our nearness to the creation process, or nearness to the Creator. The closer we are in our understanding, in our feelings, to the Creator, the more capable we are in this creation process. In this creation process, transmute energy into its all beautiful forms, and both seen and unseen, according to the universal way of doing, not the distortion that we see on this planet often. We know by being closer to the Creator how far we have departed from this original intent of creation, how far we have departed from the original beauty of the ripples. So let's get back to the beauty and be in touch with the original creator and the creation process. And that's knowing our soul. And doing so, again, we see this fringe at the edge of the dress moving in its beauty and glory. We stand back and enjoy the beauty and appreciate the whole thing, again in a new way, in a fresh way, as we create more and more. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Anyone
my
else?
dear Moshe. Yes, as always, thank you. Thank you. And yes, back to the beauty. This is the way. And as learning more, we are transmuting each other, changing each other emotionally, in words, saying, I love you, spreading the peace, spreading the love. We are changing, transmuting, my dear. The efforts are not failed. So we are helping each other and, of course, elevating each other in this transmutation, in this transformation, dear one. Thank you, Moshik, my dear. Thank you so much. Salam, namaste, Sali. Thank you. Message from the community for peace. Yes,
Yes.
of course.
Next, we have the message of the week from the community, and it's
Yes,
Andreas'
okay.
message forwarded from Andreas. Who's going to read that?
I will read that. 1 minute. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, I have to open one. Yes. Yes, the message from the community, written by message from Andreas, Universal Council member. So there's a wish also, but the background is Sudan is facing a brutal crisis. The Rapid Support Forces, RFS, backed by the UAE, have taken cities like El Fasher and carried out mass killings, rape, and ethnic cleansing. Satellite images shows bodies and blood in the streets. Reports say the UAE supplies the RSF with advanced weapons, drones, and mercenaries. Sudan's gold is being mined in Darfur and sent to Dubai, helping finance these crimes. Despite this, global media and governments remain largely silent, allegedly influenced by UAE wealth. Civilians are being murdered, hospitals bombed, and women enslaved. The world must act now and sanction the UAE, stop arms support, and protect Sudan before genocide becomes irreversible. And yes, indeed, very painful. Yes, indeed. But we wish that this will readily solved very soon in this peace process. And these are going from eons in Sudan, in Congo, and the famous man Idi Amin. These people are trained by CIA. So this is coming to the surface, and they will deal with it very soon. So there is a wish, beautiful wish from Andrea also, and we will read in the wish section. Sorry. Thank you, my dear Rick. Thank you so much. So uh, yes, next presentation, my dear.
Okay, the message from Andreas, you're going to read in the needs and wishes. Is that correct? Okay.
Yes, sir. And before the needs and wishes, my dear Rick, there is a request from Nick from Australia. He requested that, hi Rick, it's Nick from Australia. Is it all right to ask a wish for a knowledge seeker whose daughter has lost her way? She has twin souls, and one of her souls has put her in a bad situation. And I would like the Universal Council to make a wish for this girl to go back to her father who loves her and to be a blessing for him and his work for world peace. The father's name is Ekmar. Oh. And here is the, um, yes, we can do a wish. And we, the Universal Council, wish from my very dear Ekmar that now we elevate the soul of your daughter and we can see your daughter is with you now and you are enjoying living a very joyful life, peaceful life in this beautiful time, connected with so many souls, my dear Ekmar. Blessings to you too, my dear. Thank you for asking. Thank you. Gratitude, gratitude. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, my dear.
Okay, I think we can move into the needs and wishes part then. So do
Yes.
you want to start off with the one from Andreas, or how would you like to begin?
Well, yes, this wish is well from Andrea. We, the Universal Council, elevate the souls of the leaders involved in the conflicts in Sudan and other areas only by greed with unconditional love and inner peace, so that they respect the lives of all population because they are sovereign and free. Beautiful. We are present, and this pause will be for 30 seconds, my dear. So, thank you. Our wish is our command.
We, the Universal Council, elevate the soul of the leaders and the population throughout the American continent to live in harmony, respecting each nation as equal. And our wish is our command, and we are present.
We, the Universal Council, give through our souls that Russia, okay, and we, the Universal Council, give from our souls for the protection of those living in fear in natural disaster areas, and our sole wish to help cover all emotional and physical needs. Our wish is our command. We are present.
We, the Universal Council, give freely our soul to elevate the soul of leaders to achieve peace in the Middle East now.
We, the Universal Council, give through our souls that Russia and Ukraine can find peace for the sake of all the families of the planet. We are present, and our wish is our command.
Thank you. Thank you, my dear. We are here to serve, not to be served, my dear beautiful soul. This is the key, the purpose why we are here. And I will sing welcome, welcome, welcome. Suswagatam into the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy of Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute organization, my dear, and feel the totality, experience the totality, be in the totality. So welcome, welcome again into the beautiful soul realm of all universal soul, all souls in existence, and all the love, always, peace, and enlightenment, as we say. So thank you so much. Join Keshe Foundation, follow Keshe Foundation, come home, hug Keshe Foundation. Thank you so much again for being here always as a peacekeeper, as a messenger of peace. We are all. Thank you so much, and gratitude and all the love always from the core of my heart and soul. Thank you. Salam, namaste, salute, the Universal Council.
Okay, before we end, are we going to have the message from Andreas read?
Yes, we have read the Sudan message. Yes.
No,
yes.
we haven't. No, this is from Andreas. The message from Andreas about dear Universal Council members and support members.
Andreas, yes.
I write to you each out of
apologize.
love, etc. Does someone like to read that?
Yes. And Dean, welcome, Dean. My dear.
I would read it. I haven't got it that I can see it at the moment. If someone could post it, then I will read it. I would gladly read it out for Andreas.
I can start reading it. I can see it in our Telegram group, so I can start reading it. Apparently, I'm supposed to start. So I'll go ahead and start and do the first part. And then it's a short one. Dear Universal Council members and support members, I write to each of you out of love. For many years, we as the Universal Council have never met all together physically in a meeting and united our souls of physicality and physicality as representatives of humanity. Anyone wants to take over now?
Each of us is an equally important part of humanity and represents our language, community, and culture. Each of us has a beautiful, unique beauty within us, and together we make up the beauty of humanity on planet Earth. Somebody else would like to go ahead?
We have also all emerged in, with and through different environments around the planet, from the landscape, the climate, the animals and plants, etc. Everything has become part of us, and we are just so much a part of everything. And that, yes, there is no place where love is in its many different forms doesn't exist. It is in each of us in its own beautiful way. Thank um, uh,
The universal
Dee?
community
Okay, thank you.
Come to celebrate the birthday of Mitra's daughter on December 6th. Everything we have all learned and worked for over the years and what we have been prepared for. All you understand our wishes, our love, and everything comes together at this time. Next, people. Thank you.
Wouldn't it be the most beautiful gift we could give our universal visitors, Mitra's daughter, Mr. Keshe, humanity, planet Earth, and the Creator, on the day if we united all our human, individual, unique love as the Universal Council, as humanity. Next.
Isn't that the most beautiful thing the universal community can learn from us? How we support, trust, forgive, stick together, help each other grow, appreciate each other, love each other. Different field strengths of love united as a plasma. A concentration of energy, isn't that the concentration of energy that also leads to world peace? Next.
Let's make this day one of the most beautiful days in the history of creation. Beautiful. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, UC members, for that. We did have one question in the YouTube that perhaps can be addressed. It's a very simple question. Who's going to give the free energy? I think that's in reference to maybe the energy from the creator that starts all
Yes.
the magnetic fields, perhaps.
It will be received according to your free will, my dear. If you are in a way experiencing your free will operating, then it is coming to you. This is also not free. This will be according to your ability to understand. Each of us, every living being will have this opportunity, will receive this according to the understanding, level of understanding, of course. And this is the beauty of it. Thank you so much for asking. Thank you.
I'll add a little bit to it in the sense that, you know, if it is free, does anybody, is there something there to give it to us? If it's free, there. This is what we have been missing. We are part of it. There is no separation. And if we are part of it, we have to ask. It is there. How much? What? How much and what aspect of it? It's up to us. Creator is within us. So who are we asking? Ourselves? So I am answering with a question. I hope it helps.
Thank you, Mosfeq. Might I just add something to what you've just said? So create the ripple. Give the energy to receive. Thank you for being present.
All right, very good. Thank you for addressing that question. And that seems to bring to a close our program here. Let me see here. We have a couple of announcements first. First of all, thank you everyone from the Universal Council and support members of the Universal Council for producing today's 403rd One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace here on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. And our next public teaching will be the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, which will be tomorrow, Wednesday, November 5th, and that starts at the 7 a.m. Central European Time. And the times have now changed for North America and other places, so we're back to our regular time frame. So check your local time if you have to figure out what 7 a.m. Central European Time. It is the same as 10 p.m. Pacific Time on today, Tuesday. So that's one reference. And that Plasma Reactor Group is open for members of the public who would like to discuss or show things of the plasma nature. Let me see. We've got coming up on second Monday of the month, which is the 10th. And because it's the second Monday, it's the public meeting for testimonials. And that starts at the 8 p.m. Central European Time. And if you have some sort of testimonial of the plasma technology or something that maybe a transmutation session or some other product that might have affected you in some positive manner, hopefully positive, but we'll take negative negative responses as well, although we don't seem to get them. In any case, your testimonial of the plasma technology would be highly appreciated in the public meeting for testimonials. It's a good way, I think, that people can help pay back for receiving the plasma knowledge and technology, and just to give your personal testimonial. It may seem like a small thing to you, but it can make a big difference to someone else when they hear it. So, or it may be a big thing to you and be just as enjoyable for others to hear. So, yes, again, that's the 10th public meeting for testimonials, and it starts at the 8 p.m. Central European time. Okay, of course, we have the Knowledge Seekers Workshop coming up on Thursday. That'll be the 6th of November, and that will start at the usual 9 a.m. Central European time, so far as we know. All right, I think that brings to a close our announcements.
How about some ready for positive dance?
Yes, indeed. We have the final part of the show here, where we end with a bit of clapping and dancing, as
Thank you, beautiful
Shweta
souls.
would say.
Joy always. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, we like to end on a very high note here with our literal musical notes. So thank you again, everyone, for attending today's workshop. And I hope you'll also enjoy some of the other public teaching workshops as well. And maybe we'll see you next week at the same time and place for another One Planet workshop. All right, we'll end with our flight enhancement spaceship unit music version, and bye for now, everyone.